On this episode, why we don't put geofabric in new bioretention systems to suppress weed growth. Hey everyone, and welcome back to Ideanthro. Now, you know when you've had an idea for something that you've wanted to do for ages and ages and ages and you haven't got around to it? This is one of those videos. I've literally had this on the list since like episode 1. What we're talking about today is we have an example of why, when you're building a new bioretention system, it's not good to try and suppress the weeds using geofabric because it strangles and it smothers the plants and it causes some issues down the track. So what we're talking about here, if we come down and have a look here, what we'll see is this basin's got, pulled it straight off the ground. It's got this geofabric that was laid in it. And this basin's been around for a couple of years. I've been watching it for ages, meaning to come out here and make this episode. And so what happened, it was laid completely across the surface, small holes were cut in it and the plants were planted through those holes. What happens when you do that is that all these sorts of plants that we use, they grow by setting little stems further and further out to the side, and then those stems come up. And when you've cut just small holes in the plant, this is actually a really good example here, the stems end up like not being able to come up underneath the geofabric and they get caught. Some of them, like this Phacenia here, can poke through and get through in the end. But if we pull this apart, if you're able to come in and keep an eye on that, as I pull this apart here, yeah, you can see, yeah, some of them got through, but down the, there we go. All these old stems, they got trapped underneath and died off. That's just wasted growth and wasted energy for the plant. And so the plant's gonna have a harder time getting established. It's gonna have a harder time getting established because it's wasting all this energy. And you can see it again on this particular system, or this particular plant here. The other spot though where this becomes a problem, because you might be like, well, actually this isn't the end of the world, Jack, because look, some of these plants are pretty healthy. Sure, the Phacenia has done an okay job in this system coming through and getting up and out of these. But the problem is all this space around us here, is that because the plants were strangled in close, they never got a really good job to fill out and establish and to fill all the gaps in between. So even now when this stuff has broken down, even now it has broken down and it's going away of its own accord, or washing away probably down the drain, then we're left with all these bare gaps and we're just left with a system that never established. And this is the difference comparing this sort of approach to what is more commonly recommended in Queensland, which is to lay some sort of mulch like sugarcane mulch, pin it down with an open weave jute netting, because that allows the plants to actually grow up through that netting and kind of get established that way. And as they spread and spread and spread, they'll just keep growing up through the holes in the netting. And that is it. That is the issues with this. Let's keep it nice and simple, and we'll leave it there. See you next time.